welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be updating you now on some more current latest news. Now, reportedly now, this is Fellani, who I'm going to be discussing with you now on this video. Reportedly Fellani now has been approached by Paris Saint-Germain, and Paris Saint-Germain reportedly have stepped their interest up, and they've expressed an interest now in our midfielder Fellani. And reportedly, it says in the press, PSG are willing to offer him a contract, and they're willing to offer him a 4-year deal for him to join Paris Saint-Germain. And actually, Jose Mourinho's, he's desperate that, Fellani signs a new deal, because Mourinho's concerned that he will actually leave and quit Manchester United next summer, because obviously Man United are not willing to, Man United are not willing to offload him in January, and we're not willing to cash in for Fellani in January as well. But he does leave on a free transfer next summer in the process if Manchester United cannot secure him a new deal at Old Trafford. And it reported back in September that we offered him a new deal, and reportedly, Fellani had turned this offer of a new deal down. He's currently receiving £120,000 a week, but I think Fellani is demanding a higher wage increase, and I think he's demanding that he wants around £170,000 a week if he's to possibly secure a new deal at Old Trafford. So he's asking for round about a £50,000 increase, is Fellani, as we all know. And I think, for Manchester United, Fellani, has made over a century appearances. Manchester United has made 144 appearances as the player, and all in all in the Premier League he's made over 2 century appearances as the midfielder as well. But Jose Mourinho, is a big admirer of the player, big admirer, and Jose Mourinho is desperate for Fellani to stay, because Fellani and Mourinho have a fantastic relationship together. And it's also confirmed basically that we've known Galatasaray have been interested in him. It's also mentioned Besiktas have reportedly been interested in him. It also mentioned Arsenal as well in the press have been interested in him. And it also, mentioned Juventus, and it reportedly said Fellani's agent basically has approached Juventus, but obviously Juventus are no longer reportedly, interested in Fellani. And Jose Mourinho had blocked Fellani making the move to Galatasaray, back in August as well. But reportedly Jose Mourinho is concerned that Fellani will could leave on a free transfer next summer, because Man United are not willing to cash in, for the player in January. And I think Man United have been in negotiations trying to secure Fellani a new deal at Old Trafford, and we paid just over £27 million for him from Everton back in 2013, in the David Moyes era as well. And he hasn't really made a big impact since he's come to Manchester United. Looked lacklustre, looked static. But to be fair, this season Fellaini's done very, very well. This is definitely his best season, in a Manchester United shirt, is Fellaini's. He scored 3 goals in the Premier League this season as well. Obviously, he's been injured this season as well as Fellani, but Jose Mourinho still classifies him as a key player and an essential player, does Jose Mourinho as well. But reportedly, Paris Saint-Germain are willing to offer him a 4-year contract. So reportedly willing to offer him a 4-year contract. So reportedly now Paris Saint-Germain are interested, because Paris Saint-Germain, spent a lot of money in the August window. They got Neymar. They got Neymar for 198 million. They got Mbappe. They're structuring the deal for Mbappe, and they're both really doing well for PSG. And PSG have scored a record of 24 goals in the Champions League so far, and that's just in the group stages, so that's a record. And Paris Saint-Germain sitting top of the league as well, so he could actually tempt Fellani, to actually make a move to Paris Saint-Germain. But this is in a couple of media outlets reportedly that PSG are willing to offer him a 4-year deal. He's coming to an end of his contract. It did say as well before that Man United were prepared to, currently put an extension on his contract by a further 12 months. But it did say, I think Fellani was actually keen on a long-term extension with Manchester United. But as I said, Jose Mourinho basically, he's desperate, that Fellani does sign a new deal. But in the process, we haven't secured him a new deal yet. We haven't agreed terms on a new deal for Fellani. But reportedly, he is demanding a higher wage increase of £170,000 a week. This is what Fellani has been demanding. So PSG reportedly have stepped their interest up in the midfielder, because basically the board have said to Mourinho, we have to sell before we can buy. But we've not only got Fellani coming to end of his deal, we've got Juan Mata in our team, coming to an end of his current deal as well. Juan Mata, and that did say in the press the other week actually, that I think it said Real Madrid were interested in, the 12 times Champions League winners were interested in Juan Mata. That was reported in the press the other week. We haven't secured Juan Mata a new deal yet, but he did turn a big money move down to China, did Juan Mata. He's a very, very good player. He can play in that number 10 role, Mata. and very, very clinical, very, very consistent. He's been at United, he's Premier League experience, he's Juan Mata, did well at Chelsea, and we got him in the David Moyes era, we paid, was it nearly 40 million for him, from Chelsea back in 2014. This is his 4th season now in the process. He's Juan Mata's. But yeah, very, very good player indeed. And he's had that experience of playing, in Spain as Juan Mata. He played with Real Madrid. That's where he reached up the youth system, went to Valencia, had 4 fantastic years there, made 174 appearances. And then after Valencia, Chelsea got him, and he was at Chelsea. He had 3 fantastic, successful years with Chelsea. He won the Champions League with them. I think he won the Europa League with them, and the Europa League with them, and the FA Cup as well. But Juan Mata has yet to win a Premier League medal, so hopefully this will be the season when Juan Mata does this. But and then obviously this is 4th season now in the process with Manchester United. Is Juan Mata's, but he's yet to win the Premier League. But that report the other week saying Real Madrid were interested in him as well. Also, we know we've got Ander Herrera, who's another player who comes to an end of his current deal in the summer as well. But Ander Herrera, I think it did say in the press the other day that Man United have triggered a clause on his current contract, and that means we've put a further 12 months on his current contract, which will take him under contract with Manchester United until 2019 as well. So I think we've added an additional further 12 months on his current contract, Ander Herrera. So I think he will be at the club at least another year as well. Because that's also reported in the press as well about Ander Herrera. That come out the other week that he's been on Barcelona's agenda. Also, Atletico Madrid were reportedly interested in Ander Herrera as well. He said Atletico Madrid were interested in Ander Herrera as well. But Ander Herrera, hasn't been the best this season. I think he may be frustrated, with the lack of game time he's getting with Manchester United. Because obviously we know now under Jose Mourinho, even though under Jose Mourinho he's still a key player, but he's obviously not preferred choice, under Jose Mourinho. Because obviously we've got now, especially now that Pogba's come back from injury, Fellani's now come back from injury, as we all know, and we've got other players coming from injury. So, and we know Matic's where he's definitely preferred choice over Ander Herrera, especially now in that midfield. So Herrera may find it difficult to get your game team week in, week out now. Manchester United, but yeah, it did say Atletico Madrid were interested, but he did win the club's player of the year last season. So Herrera was absolutely fantastic last season. He created a lot of chances. His work ethic was very, very good, Herrera's, and yeah, but this season it's Fellani that's been doing well before his injury. He's scoring goals, he's linking up his play well. I'm surprised about Fellani. His passing, his ratio's looking good. His Fellani's passing success has been very, very good this season. As well. But to be fair to Fellani, he has done well this season. This is his best season in United shirt, but Jose Mourinho's still a big admirer of the player. But I think he does. Jose Mourinho wants to keep Fellani at the club. And we've also, that come out the other day in the press as well about Ashley Young. He were another player that were coming to an end of his current deal, but same with him, Man United have added... Man United have put a current extension on his current contract by a further 12 months. So Ashley Young is under contract with Manchester United now until 2019, because we've put an extra 12 months on his current contract as well. And we've done this basically where he said we rewarded him with a 6 million. We rewarded him with a new 6 million deal, based to it due to his fantastic performances this season. Because Ashley Young's really, really done well this season at that left back position. And he's made over 3 century appearances now in the Premier League as Ashley Young. All in all. But Ashley Young's been absolutely fantastic as Ashley Young, and there's no getting away about that. He's done very, very well at that left-back position, and we know it did say Man United were actually going to put 12 months on his current contract, but he's done very, very well this season. He did say, basically, I'm very, very shocked because I thought, Ashley Young was just going to be used there as a squad player, Ashley Young. But very, very good to see. We know he's been playing main at that left-back position. He's been our best left-back without a doubt. We know he played on the right-hand side against Liverpool. I think he's played on the left wing a couple of times as well as Ashley Young. But it's good to have Ashley Young, a player that can play on the left wing, can play as a left-back. He can even play on the right as well, on the right back. So it's good that he can get a player like Ashley Young can play on each flank. And Ashley Young, without doubt, has been our best defender. So for me, he does deserve this, does Ashley Young. He does deserve the current extra 12 months that we've put on his current contracts, because he's the left back that has stepped up. So that's very, very good to see as well. But we did offer him I think we rewarded him with a new 6 million deal. We've put an extra 12 months on his current contract, Ashley Young, as well. So that is very very good to see as well. And yeah, and also, you know, Luke Shaw at Manchester United, he's another player that could leave Manchester United in January as well. There has been talks about Ashley Young potentially, not Ashley Young, Luke Shaw potentially, because Luke Shaw's frustrated with a lack of game time. You know, he's been getting at Manchester United. He has not played in the Premier League this season. He's only played twice in the Carabao Cup, and now Luke Shaw knows he's probably fourth or fifth choice left back. You know, now under Jose Mourinho is Luke Shaw, as we all know. But Luke Shaw, as I said, you know, I think he's still under contract with Manchester United until 2019. You know, he raised up the youth system with Southampton fantastically well. We purchased him from Southampton, £29 million back in 2014 as well, and made his England senior debut in 2014 as well. Did Ashley Young and did Luke Shaw, and you know, there's been quite a few teams interested. It's mentioned Manchester City have been interested in. Well, it mentioned City had a slight interest in Luke Shaw. He said Chelsea had been interested in him. Also, Arsenal had reportedly been interested in Luke Shaw as well. But we know he hasn't played in the Premier League this season. We know that Luke Shaw is known for injuries, especially. Luke Shaw is definitely known for injuries at Manchester United. But if we could cash in for the player, you know, that's not really had much chance to perform Manchester United since he's come. Only played 32 times in the Premier League since he's come to Manchester United. You know, it would be beneficial if we could cash £20 million in or something for Luke Shaw as well. But there has been talks potentially, you know, Jose Mourinho, it says he has to sell before he can buy, and you know, he's still in search for a full-back, you know, definitely still in search for a creative winner, because Manchester United still do need a winger, you know, a player that can, you know, cross balls into the box. So I still think that left-hand side still needs definitely addressing. That left-hand side, you know, definitely needs reinvesting into the Manchester United team. But saying, you know, Luke Shaw, he could go, and potentially there were talks the other day in the press that actually, you know, I think Danny Rose is actually a favoured, you know, Danny Rose is the favoured player, you know, to actually replace Luke Shaw. And it actually did say as well that Man United are actually willing to put £40 million in, willing to put £40 million in, plus offer Luke Shaw, so we can go on and get Danny Rose as well in the current process. So it did say, there were talks about a potential swap deal, Luke Shaw to Tottenham, Danny Rose to Manchester United. So there were talks about that, and plus Man United offer £40 million as well. But we know Danny Rose has been we know he's known for injuries, because he's just recovered, well, not too long ago, from long-term injury. I don't think, you know, Danny Rose is satisfied with Pochettino, basically. You know, he's not satisfied with Pochettino, you know, after he was dropped for their game against Arsenal, the North London derby. Danny Rose wasn't satisfied about this, but Danny Rose is still under contract with Tottenham until 2021. He's been at Tottenham a decade. He's been a lot of teams on loan as Danny Rose as well. But we know that he missed about 9 or 10 months of football, you know, due to injury. Did Danny Rose as well, you know. He became more of a regular in the Tottenham team in the 2012-2013 season as well, you know, began his career at Leeds. And he did explain back in the August window, you know, he criticised Tottenham for lack of investment in the window. He also said he wasn't satisfied with the wages he was receiving. Danny Rose, he did say he didn't want to play football, you know, 15 years without one trophy or one medal. And there's bigger high-profile teams out there for Danny Rose to go to, such as Manchester United, because Manchester United are a richer club. We can probably, you know, we can offer him better wages, as it said in August. We could probably double his wages that he's receiving at Tottenham, so we could probably offer more and double his current wages. And I think, you know, maybe these players like Danny Rose and Kane and that at Tottenham, Dele Alli would eventually want to move on. You know, if Tottenham aren't, you know, competing or they're not winning silverware, and these players will eventually want to move on. So, but Danny Rose is a very, very good player. You know, his attacking instinct's good, his defensive distribution, he's very, very good as well. So potentially, could there be a potential swap deal? You know, there has been talks about it, as I said, but Luke Shaw may be keen on reuniting with Pochettino, you know, after they were actually fantastic together at Southampton as well. Both of them before, obviously, Pochettino went to Tottenham as well. But as as I'm saying, the main part of this video is about Mario and Fellani. Reportedly, Mourinho is concerned that Fellani will leave the club next summer, and he will leave on a free transfer, as we all know, because Man United are not willing to actually cash in for Fellani in January. Could actually cash in for him in January, but Man United are prepared not to do this, to cash in for Fellani in January. And reportedly, he's demanding a higher wage increase. Fellani, he's demanded that he wants around £170,000 a week. He's currently earning around £120,000 a week. We offered him a new deal back in September. Fellani had turned this new deal down. It says Man United has still been in negotiations of trying to secure Mario Fellani a new deal at Old Trafford. In the process, we haven't materialised it. We haven't got him a new deal at the club, but we know Galatasaray have been interested in Fellani. Jose Mourinho blocked to move in August. Juventus has been mentioned. Arsenal have been mentioned. And now Paris Saint-Germain reportedly are willing to offer him a 4-year deal and a 4-year contract if he is to join Paris Saint-Germain as well. So tell me what you think this situation. Put your comments below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, guys. And take it easy, and I'll see you all later on. Take care. Bye.